Okay. Hey everybody, it's Brandon the Brony Pony here. I'm joined by two guest stars, or two guests for, I wouldn't say guest stars, but they're, guests for the Our Mini TalkCast episode 3. We are talking about, predictions for an Equestria Girls TV series. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to discuss my ideas as well as Zach's ideas. And we're going to... this is Zach Attack 2. Rivera's joined.
Just call me Pickle Pirate or the Getter Robo Guy.
Yeah, this is the Getter Robo Guy. The ones that are always commenting about Getter Robo in the comments, if you've seen that.
Getter Robo went into the Brandon verse. I hope you know that. I hope you're okay with that.
Yeah. So I have my ideas pulled up on my iPad so I can look at them. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to discuss the ideas and give our thoughts on each idea. And then, as a bonus, Rivera has a full-on pitch for an Equestria Girls TV series or fifth Equestria Girls movie. Either way it goes. But,
and it's gonna be glorious.
Yeah, and that's how we're going to end the podcast. So... He's got a pretty lengthy one, but for now, what we're gonna do is Rivera and Zach. What we'll do is I'm gonna give my ideas, and you guys are each gonna give your thoughts on them, and Zach will give his ideas, and Rivera and me will give our thoughts on them, and we'll go one at a time until we run out of ideas. And once we run out of ideas, Rivera will go in depth about his pitch. So yeah.
Can't wait to. All right, let's do this.
So who wants to start?
You first, since it's your podcast.
Yeah, it's your podcast.
I'm just a co-creator here, so yeah.
All right, sounds good. So the first idea I have is an episode featuring Rarity at her boutique, getting a large order of dresses, and having to impress Prim headline with her line, and have Sunset returning as Flanksy. That is basically Sunset's alter ego that she uses to like spray paint and stuff. What do you guys think of that?
Is that like her super pony or what? Was that was an episode, right?
Yeah, I was in
the comic book hero one where I think Spike got tapped in it.
It was a different one. Sunset basically had an alter ego called Flanksy, where she basically spray painted.
I get it. It's Banksy. I get it.
She did like graffiti art. So yeah.
I think it's good in my opinion. It could possibly happen. But then again, it's very hard for something like that to happen when someone's been redeemed. But then again, knowing someone has a bad... Anyway, but as I was saying, basically, in my opinion, I think it could still happen. But, because, Sunset has a bad temper and, people that have, anger issues can, even when redeemed, can sometimes still slip up and end up doing the wrong thing. So yeah,
it's just like a side gig. She doesn't graffiti illegally. She just like graffiti.
No, I know. I'm just saying as a thing. But yeah, carry on.
I mean, graffiti doesn't really have to be malicious. It's an art form. Like her nickname is based off of Banksy, who is a very famous graffiti artist.
Yeah. And what's your first idea, Zach?
Okay, let me pull out my list here. I was thinking Discord. We don't see him in the QG verse.
That could be interesting, actually. I wonder what he would be.
Like, I don't know. He'd be like messing around. Maybe he's like, I don't know, like one of the substitute teachers. Maybe he's the rival to Sunset's graffiti artist. I don't know. He can just do whatever he wants.
That actually seems interesting. What do you think of that, Rivera?
I think it's a possibility, but in my opinion, like I said, this could be a little controversial, but I think that Discord might have been maybe deceased in Equestria Girls. The reason why is because we do see pictures of him, at least around the school once in a while. It's not in every movie or every episode, but you've already seen it, Brandon, so you know what I'm talking about. majority of the pictures are sometimes either in black and white or perhaps, taken like from a time of old, like maybe in the 1800s, the 1920s. So maybe the reason why we don't see him, it could be because he's already deceased, or there's a possibility that he jumps between realms, that he could either show up from Equestria to there, and he jumps around once in a while, and maybe that's why he's not on screen. But that's just...
Yeah, like maybe he doesn't have a counterpart. Maybe he doesn't have a counterpart, like Sunset, which I had canon, but yeah. So my next idea would be a Rainbow Dash PE focus episode, possibly with her dominating all the sports teams and maybe getting kicked off all the sports teams and no longer being captain. What do you think of that?
I'll let Zach go first.
Well, I don't see why if she always wins for the teams, why kick her off?
Yeah, good point. Maybe her ego gets the best of her, and they she's like dominating. Like I said, like she's like dominating the teams, and like she's not giving the other people like a chance to play.
There's a possibility that could help, because like I said, I'm saying as like co-creator of CHS and me writing majority of the sports-related episodes, she does intend to have an ego, but at the same time, I don't think her ego would get the better of her. Even her pony side doesn't let it go that far. So I think what will most likely happen is that, this is my opinion, is that maybe she would get competition. Like maybe there would be like a human version of Lightning Dust or whoever was, from back in the time of the what were they called? The Wonderbolts. Yeah, the Wonderbolts. And maybe she actually beats Rainbow Dash at something. And basically it becomes a competitive nature to the point where Rainbow Dash has to win. But
yeah, that sounds interesting. Yeah. Do you have another idea, Zach?
I do have several.
We're just going one at a time.
Well, how about, how we have Slice of Life in the normal show, right?
Yeah.
What about that in the Equestria Girls universe?
That could be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting, actually, yeah.
Like, some of the specials, you see some of the specials, one of them focused on vinyl, another one focused, I think, on another person. I didn't really watch all the specials.
Yeah.
But maybe you can have, an episode for that.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. What do you think of that, Rivera?
I thought that would be good as well, even though I think there has been shown signs of life within the actual episodes sometimes. Like, we actually see Sunset and Rainbow doing yoga. We see them in school. We also see them doing activities outside. So we even know that Sunset Shimmer's a gamer and runs a blog. So basically, in my opinion, I think the show already does that. Only it minimizes it for adventures, for more entertainment.
Sorry, that's not what I meant. I meant focusing on background characters.
Well, I think
the episode Slice of Life.
They've actually done that once with Rainbow Dash with our Daring Do pitch. They actually did a special one where she was envisioning herself as the human, and I saw it myself. They actually did an actual pitch where she was where she was wearing the Daring Do uniform, and she was going through an adventure, and then the whole thing ends when I think it was Rarity and Sci-Twi who came in, and they basically say, "Hey, are you ready to go?" And Rainbow Dash says, "Okay, I'll go," and she leaves. So that's an actual example that they do that. So yeah.
Yeah, but he's talking about using the background characters like Derpy, Vinyl Scratch, Lyra, Mystery Mint, Blueberry Cake, like
Well, maybe they could do that, but at the same time, it depends on what type of slice of importance they have. Like, for an example, we already know Muffins, aka Derpy. The reason why she's never taken or used this seriously is because the majority of the time she's a klutz. She can't walk 4 minutes without falling on herself. Her eyes are messed up. So she's mostly treated like a gag more than she is an actual serious character. Even in the original Pony version, she's treated like a gag. So maybe there's a possibility it could happen, but it would have to be very decent writing to it, But that's just my pitch on it. But if there isn't any, it's not going to work,
Yeah.
He's just going to be continuing being treated like a joke.
Yeah, true. My next idea is Fluttershy episode taking place at the animal shelter and showing Fluttershy being stressed from taking care of the animals, and potentially Zephyr Breeze tries to help but ends up being a nuisance. What do you guys think of that? You guys there? You there? You there? Hello? Hello? Sorry about that, guys. If you heard me saying hello, hello over and over again, it's because my internet went out and I didn't realize. I'm gonna keep that in the video, but yeah, I'll put a disclaimer saying my internet went out, a note on the video saying my internet went out. But yeah, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna probably edit these parts together to make a full video, but yeah, yeah, sorry about that, guys. My internet went out. Hopefully that does not happen again, but if it does, then I'll have 3 parts to edit together, but hopefully that doesn't happen again. Anyway, what I was trying to say is my next idea, I don't think they heard it because my internet went out, but my next idea...
Wait, Brandon, before you continue, did you ever hear my feedback when you said your previous idea before your screen froze?
Which one?
Zach, do you remember? I think it was the PE one.
I forgot.
Yeah, the PE one. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you did. Yeah, because that was when your screen froze and you never said anything. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah,
well,
I
was
basically...
wondering if you heard it.
Yeah, I did. But my next idea is actually... that I was trying to say before my internet went out was Fluttershy episode taking place at the animal shelter and showing Fluttershy being stressed from taking care of the animals, and potentially Zephyr Breeze tries to help but ends up being a nuisance.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Now I remember. That was the one I was giving you feedback on until your internet cut. So I don't think you were able to hear that one. What I was saying was, now hopefully it doesn't happen a second time, because I won't be able to repeat. I hate repeating myself, but...
Yeah.
Right now, what I was going to say, and I'm sure Zach might remember it now, because it was basics, but what if, basically, Zephyr Breeze, you know, every time he tried to help, he made the situation worse. And it got to the point that the animals started to wreak havoc all over the place. They were not listening to Fluttershy. And it got to the point that Fluttershy finally snaps and tells off her brother because he's not. Because here's the thing, he thinks he's helping, but Fluttershy, it's the complete opposite. He's not helping, and she finally finds her voice and snaps and says, "You idiot! You're not helping me. You're making things worse." And eventually, and I'm sure that's going to get the audience to celebrate Fluttershy, because I'm sure they've been waiting for that for years. For her to finally snap at them.
Would she call someone an idiot, though?
If she's angry enough, she will. Because don't believe me, look at the MLP episode, You Will Love Me. That.
Yeah.
So,
I remember that. I remember that from the Fusro Dog compilations.
But yeah, that was my feedback. But in my opinion, that would have actually made an incredible episode, because this will not only see that Fluttershy is not the type of girl to just let, you know, things be thrown to her and, you know, she lets people stomp over her. She will eventually have a limit and finally stand up, you know. But that's just...
What was your next idea, Zach?
Well, I mentioned this to Rivera before you crashed, but okay, Brandon, I want you to picture something for me. Picture the Equestria Girls cast. Are you picturing it?
Kinda, yeah.
Picture Optimus Prime. There you go.
So, Equestria Girls and Transformers crossover.
Because I'm pretty sure there were comics about it.
There was a My Little Pony and Transformers crossover. Yeah, that could be interesting for sure, but I don't know if they would do it. Maybe they would do a My Little Pony Friendship is Magic in Transformers crossover. Not sure if it would necessarily work with Equestria Girls. I mean, I get, like, Equestria Girls has cars and all that, so maybe it would work, but, like, I think it might actually work with Friendship is Magic more, since that's more well known than Equestria Girls. But I don't know.
Yeah, a part of me thinks it might not happen. The reason is because Equestria Girls and Transformers, I don't think that's a good crossover. Just like Godzilla and MLP are not a good crossover. So, it's sometimes there are things that are not meant to be crossovers. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
Because even if, let's say, it does happen, what's gonna happen? What's gonna come of it? It's a kids show, and we're talking about an anime, including live action and comic series where people die.
Did you say anime like the beloved anime Getter Robo?
There's a lot of anime on Transformers.
I had to put at least one Getter Robo thing in
the
this.
80s Transformers.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. My most wanted Friendship is Magic crossover that's like a pie in the sky dream that is not going to happen is actually Friendship is Magic and Fairly Odd Parents. But that's a discussion for another time because it's Equestria Girls. But that is what I want to see: Friendship is Magic and Fairly Odd Parents.
But
I can see it.
Timmy Turner Pride Sparkle.
Yeah, the only problem with that actually happening is even though, Fairly Odd Parents used to be a good show, it has gotten rotted to the core so badly that nobody cares about it anymore. So even if
are they still making new episodes?
No, that show's long been dead.
Okay,
they're making a new series now, last time I checked, but I don't know if it's gonna survive though. Because
I don't think it is. Cause I think I heard it's actually canned, so I don't think it's gonna survive.
Good.
Because it was about some little girl or something. Timmy wasn't even in it. I think he was only a background character, which to me,
no,
I think
actually, that bus driver was not Timmy. It was actually
No. I said a background character. I mean, in other words, he was mentioned, but he didn't really play that much of a role.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the Fairly Odd Parents movie, that stupid live action one.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that shit.
Back to Equestria Girls. My next idea, which I meant to say idea, not job, but it does have to do with a job. That's probably why I mentioned it. But episodes showing Sunset's job as a sushi waitress and the stress that comes with the job. Maybe feature the other Humane 6 jobs as well, including Sci-Twi and her electronics store job. What do you think of that?
I think that could work in my opinion, because we could actually get a prime example to actually see what the others actually do for a living. Like, for an example, the only job we ever see is Pinkie Pie's. So
no, actually we do see the other main 6's jobs. Rainbow Dash works at a sports store. Applejack, I don't know if she got her job back. I heard she lost her job, but at that time she worked at a smoothie place. Sci-Twi worked at a electronics store, tech support, or whatever it is. And Sunset works at a sushi restaurant, and Fluttershy obviously works at an animal shelter. And
which could explain where she got those bento boxes in CHS. But yeah.
What do you mean? Who are you talking about?
You already know. But anyway.
Who got the bento boxes?
No, bento boxes are actual lunch boxes from Japan. They actually, they're meant to hold food inside them. And mostly they're common around Japanese high school students. So basically,
did you say Japan? Like the...
So when it's mostly like, lunch time or something, what they do is that they open the box and then they take chopsticks and they just eat out of it. That's kind of like what a bento box is. So,
yeah, guys, you probably don't know what we're talking about, but it's spoilers for Brony CHS, so we can't go too deep into it. You just have to wait.
That's why I'm not saying anything more. That's why I'm just describing what the box is.
Yeah. But do you have any more ideas, Zach?
I do. Actually, I was going to say something about the job episode before. It kind of reminds me of... Did you guys watch the show 16?
Yeah.
I used to.
It's like that. It reminded me of that. Like you said, Rainbow Dash works at a sports store, and I wanted to say, Masterson, get in the penalty box.
That's funny.
All right. Anyway, let me pull up my list here quick. I was actually going to mention Rainbow Dash taking pilot lessons.
That could be interesting.
That could be interesting, but that may have to happen way in the future because she's too young for that. So yeah.
Actually, you don't have to be that old. You can be 18.
Well, last time I checked in the canon show, she's 17 to 16, so I don't know if that's
close enough.
Yeah. Don't forget,
Anyway,
though,
next-
Rivera, Rarity also runs a whole boutique and a whole fashion line, and she's a teenager, so there you go.
Well, then again, you also got a 17-year-old living on her own in an apartment, which we all know is impossible to do in reality, because then you'll be thrown out. You're not old enough to do that yet. But yeah.
Yeah, true.
So I don't really take that stuff seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's actually proof that Sunset is actually 18. The fact that she lives on her own, that proves that she's 18. So there you go. People
Well,
try to rag on me for shipping myself with Sunset. She lives on her own, so that's proof she's not a minor. There you go.
Speaking of Sunset, I actually had another idea. Because the Sunset we see was originally from Equestria. But what about the Sunset from Equestria Girls?
Oh, yeah.
They're the same one.
That goes into one of my later ideas.
Yeah, but we're getting off topic here, so let's...
My next idea is a Sci-Twi focused episode, possibly with her donning her lab coat and gloves, and it's centered around a wild science experiment gone wrong, maybe with a new invention.
What kind of invention?
To be fair, that's actually... Yeah, that's something that would most likely happen when it comes to Sci-Twi, as she is the science one, so in my opinion, she may be able to do certain things that are great, but then she might do certain things that are screw-ups as well, because no one's perfect. So yeah, not even she is.
Yeah.
I got an idea.
What is it?
I just got an idea. Sorry, so... Going off of that, Sci-Twi invents a big robot that goes on a rampage. So then she has to make another robot that her and her friends have to pilot to stop the first one.
Yeah, that's genius! That sounds like something they would do. Holy crap.
Straight out of Gundam.
Okay, no more Gundam references, seriously.
I've only made one Gundam reference.
Actually, you made two. One was a Transformers one, but yeah, we're getting sidetracked here.
Well, I mean, it's still an episode idea, nonetheless.
Yeah.
So it still is a good idea.
Anyway,
my next idea is a Sci-Twi and Timber focused episode, maybe with a Sci-Twi and Timber duet. Valentine's Day episode featuring different ships, including Sunset and Flash. As much as I hate this, so those are two.
Isn't Flash in love with the other Twilight?
I doubt that, because there's not that much chemistry. And here's the thing, even though it's revealed in the first quote-unquote movie, or where it's seen at the end, they never work on that. So just because they look and they blush at each other doesn't mean squat.
And the reason why... sorry to interrupt, but the reason why I think Sunset Flash would be potentially a topic in an Equestria Girls TV series, as much as it would destroy me. The reason I think it's realistic is because Flash tried to get Sunset back in Legend of Everfree, and he's shown that he might be a simp for Sunset, as we see in Holidays Unwrapped. Like, he becomes like a full-on simp. So, and Sunset seems to like tolerate him, and like, obviously, basically Flash is me, and Sunset is like just thinking he's like some kind of dork that she admires or whatever. So as much as it would destroy me for this to happen, I unfortunately believe that it's potentially realistic for Sunset and Flash to be a ship. As much as I would hate it, I would actually despise it. I would hate if it happened. I would hate Flash even more, but like I feel like Sunset and Flash happening is likely, and a Sci-Twi and Timber episode with a Sci-Twi and Timber duet would be cool too. So what do you guys think of those?
In my opinion, I don't think the Flash and Sunset thing is really going to happen, because even though you do prove some good points, Brandon, but the problem is there's a difference between chemistry and just flat out being cordial with one another. So there are some times where exes are cordial and they're just friends, but you already know the saying that men and women could never be friends because, eventually they end up in a bed one day. So I get that paranoia. But when it comes to Sunset and Flash, I don't really see potential chemistry in those two. I think Sunset and Flash, they just look at each other like sibling-like. As for the whole Sci-Twi and Timber Spruce, maybe they could expand it a little bit, but I've noticed that Timber Spruce barely shows up ever since Everfree. He rarely shows up. So, like I said, I don't know if they're going to do that again, because you know how it is with Equestria Girls. They always tease something, but then they never commit to it, and then it's forgotten.
Technically, in the Equestria Girls shorts, we do see that Sci-Twi and Timber are canonically in a relationship. They're actually dating after Legend of Everfree, and we see like shipping moments between them. And
which one is Timber again?
Timber Spruce, Gloriosa
well,
Daisy's
I said
brother.
That's great and all, but the problem is it's not enough. The problem is we only see one scene, 2 scenes, and then that's it. Then it's just Sci-Twi on her own. So basically,
I know, that's why I'm saying they can expand on the relationship a bit.
That's what I meant.
And develop it, flesh it out. Have
more that's
scenes
what I meant. Because the problem is shorts alone. Not everybody. Because here's the thing. Yeah, there's such thing as specials, and you and I already know that they're canon. But the problem is no one else sometimes no one else believes that they are canon. So, because the problem is they think just because it's a special, they're like, this is a non-canon alternate show that shows them, So they're not everyone's going to consider them canon. So because of this problem, this is why the whole relationship with Sci-Twi and Timber Spruce has to be actually taken seriously. If you put them inside the actual specials, it will not work. It's a bad idea. Yeah. That's the problem. Anyway, next.
Do you have any more ideas, Zach?
I still have my list. Let's see. I have a Christmas special, 7th Element of Harmony. Explain how magic works. Here's one. What do the Cutie Mark Crusaders do in Equestria Girls if there's no such thing as cutie marks?
Well, last time I checked, they're barely on screen. They just show up as cameos or background characters. That's the only thing they ever do. They're most likely... Hasbro doesn't really care about them that much in Equestria Girls.
Well, I care about them.
I hope it's... But anyway, in my opinion, like I said, But anyway, as I was saying when it comes to the Cutie Mark Crusaders, what I think, should there be an episode focused on them? No. Let me explain. The reason why is because what are they going to do? There's no Cutie Marks to take. So the whole point of the Cutie Mark Crusaders was to win their cutie marks by doing special events. That's the whole point of their existence. But since there's no cutie marks on Earth, their existence is pointless. So we're just gonna be most likely seeing just 3 little girls just doing nothing all day.
No, because
do a Stand By Me thing.
What we could do is we could have them be like the human version of the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Meaning, what they could do is they could help people find their special purpose in life. You don't need a cutie mark to find that. That could be their purpose. They gotta help young people find their purpose in life and find what they're meant to do. Doesn't, just like they do in Equestria. Doesn't have to be for a cutie mark.
Even if that's true, and I agree with that, but even if that's true, you also have to remember the only reason they did that in MLP was to get their own cutie marks. So the whole thing was attached to the cutie marks. So because of that, you would have to have a purpose to do the same thing without it. So the whole point is, I agree, it could still be done, but the question is, there also has to be a purpose that latches to it. That's the reason why. Because that's the whole point of why the ones in FIM were able to actually do it, because it was attached to the cutie marks.
Yeah.
So, but since there's nothing, there's nothing to attach to them in the actual Earth, Like, that's the problem. So even if I agree, and let's say they do like what you wanted them to do, they help people find their purpose, then what's the point of their existence? They're gonna, like, what are they doing this for? Like, there's nothing to gain. So that's the problem.
More friends.
So anyway, that's the whole reason why I don't think, that Hasbro's not really gonna care about the cutie marks, Crusaders. Because that's why, because I think they're only designed to just be background characters.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go over multiple ideas since I have so many and multiple people have ideas, and
I'm out of ideas.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go over multiple ideas now. So basically, well, you did mention some other ideas that you didn't go over, Zach. You can go some over some of those. So.
Well, some of them are jokes, more like a Snips and Snails episode, Christmas special.
Yeah.
An episode about the Dazzlings.
Yeah, those are pretty good ideas. Yeah. So one idea I have, I'm gonna go these next three ideas, 8, 9, and 10. Christmas themed episode with them actually referring to it as Christmas, as opposed to Hearthwarming, and maybe Sunset brings up Hearthwarming from Equestria. 9, Equestria crossover episode with either Sunset going through the portal to Equestria Sea Princess Twilight, or Twilight coming through the portal into the human world with potential double Twilight interaction, maybe Starlight returns. 10, potential return of Demon Sunset and or Midnight Sparkle. What do you think of that?
Well, I think it could be a possibility, but the reason why I don't, but Demon Sunset, like I said, I think Demon Sunset, the odds of her turning are greater because we all know her temper. Because like I said, the angrier somebody gets, the more delusioned they become, to the point that they lose control and they end up doing things that they regret. And we already know that Sunset's demonic side comes out due to her rage. So hers has a big chance of coming out. As for Sci-Twi, there's a possibility it could come back, but I kind of doubt it, mostly due to the fact that Sci-Twi, barely does anything wrong. So yeah, it's very, very difficult for that to actually happen unless there's an actual magical aroma that allows it. So unlike Sunset, where we know the demon could come out, because we know she has a bad temper, she can't control it, she shows it in every movie.
Yeah.
Sci-Twi, it's going to be a lot harder for demon Sci-Twi. So unless Sci-Twi is able to adopt Sunset's anger, or maybe because there has been occasions where Sci-Twi has lost her temper just like Sunset has. Like, for an example, was that yacht episode when she snapped at Rainbow Dash. So there could be a possibility that Sci-Twi might adopt Sunset's temper, and maybe she will come back. But the odds of that happening, I think, are 0. But that's just my opinion.
What do you think of the other two ideas? Equestria crossover with either Sunset going through the portal to Equestria Sea Princess Twilight, or Twilight coming through the portal into the human world, potential double Twilight interaction, maybe Starlight returns. And then also Christmas-themed episode with them actually referring to it as Christmas as opposed to Hearthwarming, or maybe Sunset brings up Hearthwarming from Equestria. What do you think of those?
Well, Zach, you first.
Well wait, what? Sorry.
The ideas were Christmas-themed episode with them actually referring to it as Christmas as opposed to Hearthwarming, maybe Sunset brings up Hearthwarming from Equestria. Equestria crossover episode with either Sunset going through the portal to Equestria to see Princess Twilight, or Twilight coming through the portal into the human world, potential double Twilight interaction, maybe Starlight returns, and then potential.
I would love to see Twilight and Twilight argue about chemistry or the periodic table.
And there's also potential return of Demon Sunset and or Midnight Sparkle.
I already discussed that.
I doubt we see a return of those, but maybe we could see a new person. And this is going to segue into the movie of Rivera's design, hopefully.
Agreed. But as for the opinion for what you said for those two ones, there's a possibility I think that could happen. But like I said, it depends on what Hasbro thinks, because this is the same company that's done screw up after screw up sometimes. So yeah, you not all the time, but you get the drill.
Yeah.
So what I believe is that maybe it will happen, but at the same time, don't count your eggs.
Yeah.
Because how many times have they always say, oh, we're gonna do this, but then they do the opposite, and they don't do the same thing. They did this with Transformers, they did this with G.I. Joe, and I should know.
G.I. Joe.
Hasbro. So yeah.
And here are my next ideas. I'm gonna go through 11 through 15. So 11 is reveal that there is no human sunset, and instead Pony Sunset is this world's only sunset, and is meant to keep balance between both the pony and human world. 12 is reveal that magic has always been in the human world. Sunset was never responsible. 13 Wallflower focus episode. 14 Juniper montage return. 14 Juniper. Yeah, 14 Juniper montage returns, potentially with her role as a reformed villain being fleshed out further. And then 15 possible return to Camp Everfree with return of Glorious and Sci-Twi and Timber moments. What do you think of that?
So I think that many of those I wish are gonna happen, but I doubt it will, because we all know how Hasbro is. They're messed up. They make a lot of screw-ups, so they might make some things happen. Like, for an example, there could be a chance that maybe Everfree could come back, but I still wouldn't count my ponies on that.
Yeah.
So what I think now, as for the magic in where there's magic in humanity before there was before Sunset shows up, that actually sounds like you got that inspired from someone. I wonder who.
Yeah, that might be a foreshadowing to Brony THS, but I'm not gonna reveal it or anything. But just a hint. Yeah, but I did get it inspired. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So and what were the other ones? I think I said 2 of them already. What was the other 4?
Reveal that there is no human sunset, but instead Pony Sunset is this world's only sunset. It's meant to keep the balance between both the pony and human world. Also,
that first one, I think, is most likely going to happen, in my opinion. But then again, Hasbro, they don't do anything. So, like I said, maybe that will happen, but I can't promise that.
Yeah.
As for the second one, please.
Wallflower focus episode, and Juniper montage returns, possibly with her role as a reformed villain being fleshed out further.
Those 2, I think they could still happen. However, it depends if Juniper or the other one, Wallflower, whatever her name was, actually have basic importance. So if they're basically if they don't have any plans for those characters, then don't waste your time. You're probably still not going to see them. So the odds of those 2 coming back, I think, are slim.
Yeah, makes sense. But I would love to see Juniper again, because she is literally in my top 5 waifus. So please bring her back. Yeah.
Next.
Dazzlings make their 3rd appearance, potential reformation, and then return to Equestria Land with potential return of Vignette Valencia, return of Cinch, she's in the loony bin and has just been released, Crystal Prep focus episode with possibly Sci-Twi catching up with Shadow Bolt 5.
Well, the Dazzlings, in my opinion, I think they already served their purpose already. So, and the last time I checked, they don't play any big roles except for just cameos. So, in my honest opinion, the odds of the Dazzlings coming back are literally 0. Because Hasbro already did what they wanted. They're one-time characters. They were only supposed to show up one time, and that was it. They wiped their hands. They got rid of them.
But they are fan favorite. You gotta keep in mind though. You gotta keep in mind though, they are fan favorite characters. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you, Zach, what you thought of the episode ideas. But yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on my ideas?
They were all right. I'm gonna be honest with you, Brandon. I'm kind of losing attention.
Oh, okay. We gotta pay attention.
Yeah,
right?
sorry.
Yeah, so anyway, here's the thing. I agree. They are fan favorites. Hell, I like them. You already see I have great plans for them. But there's just one problem. Sometimes corporations don't care. And that's the problem.
But we care.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you got billions of dollars to go up against Hasbro and force them to keep the Dazzlings.
You don't know that.
Well, keep in mind though, like they did technically poke reference to the fans. Like they made Sonata's love for tacos canon. Like they made her say, "How was I supposed to know you?"
I know,
and
that's great on them. But guess what? There's a difference between poking fair and throwing bones than actually listening. Because here's the thing: if they were truly listening to the fans, the Dazzlings could have had multiple main events all on their own and including an actual event besides Rainbow. So because of that problem and that cameo, which tells you that sometimes, like I said, they will throw bones, but they say, we're done with these characters. We don't need them anymore. We'll just we'll put them in one scene to keep you fans quiet. You know, that's basically that's what they do. They do the same crap in every show, and that's the problem. Now, like I said, as much as I wish I was wrong, I really wish I was wrong, but yeah, the Dazzlings having their own main character plot, that's done. It's never going to happen, because their main character plot came after Rainbow. So yeah, they're done.
You mean Rainbow Rocks?
Well, I do think that it is a possibility since they did make a second appearance. That's just my personal opinion. I think it is possible that they
better not be stealing our toast Sunset Shimmer.
But at the same time, you also have to remember, Brandon, so many people make all their appearances, but guess what? They still don't build into actual future lore. Just because somebody makes another appearance, that always doesn't mean it's going to be focused on something else. Because remember, one person appearance can also mean that they're just there as a cameo. You know, that they did that same nonsense with Ghostbusters in 2016 when they tried to erase the original Ghostbusters and then they made Dan Aykroyd a cab driver. So that's no different to what they're doing with the Dazzlings. But as for your other ideas, next one you said what was the other one?
Return to Equestria Land with potential return of Vignette Valencia. Return of Cinch, she's in the Looney Bin and has just been released. Crystal Prep focus episode, possibly Sci-Twi catching up with the Shadow Bolt plot.
So I think maybe there may be a chance that Return to Equestria Land could probably happen, depending if Hasbro wants it. Cinch, I don't really care about that character, but I don't know her that much, but maybe she might return, even though she's a nut job. But that depends, like I said, if Hasbro has any plans for her. If she's like the Dazzlings and they don't have plans for her, then don't count on it. So as for the other one, I think you said Crystal Prep was next.
Yeah, with Sci-Twi catching up with the Shadow Bolt 5, Sour Sweet, and it goes out.
Yeah, so Crystal Prep, maybe it will return, but like I said, they have to have plans for it. So if it returns, it'll be great. And the last one you said?
That was all of them, but I have more. Diamond Tiara, Silver Spoon, and CMC focus episode. This version of Diamond Tiara is still like her old personality in Equestria. 21 maybe new human characters we've never seen, such as Cheese Sandwich, Coco Pomel, Sassy Saddles, etc. Rarity opens a new boutique somewhere else, traveling to more cities beyond Canterlot City. Possible reveal of real-world cities existing in this world. Road Trip episode, see above. Halloween-themed episode, with characters actually calling it Halloween, just like what we call it. Maybe with Sunset mentioning Nightmare Night back in Equestria. What do you think of those?
Wouldn't that just be a rehash of the Christmas episode?
Yeah, but they could potentially do a Halloween episode and make it unique, you know?
One of them already sounds like it was inspired by somebody in here, but yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think, however, my first thought, I'm first going to get rid of the other ones because there's so many, but I think the odds of Rarity leaving to establish a boutique somewhere else, even though we might like that, it won't happen, because I get the feeling if she does that, then the other girls are not going to get their screen time anymore. She's going to be on her own. There's going to be no one there. So yeah, the odds of that happening are most likely zero. As for everything else, I guess I was hearing things, but anyway, as I was saying, during that time, the rest that you agree with, I think that will most likely I think Hasbro could come up with a good blueprint that will go through that, but it depends on them, so it might happen, it might not, so we'll have to wait. As for the Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara idea, I could come up with a great episode already for those two. And they could actually be like bullies and everything else, which we already know they are in MLP. So, and eventually, maybe it could take one of the girls to stand up to them and they could get redeemed in the end. So maybe, like I said, there's a possibility that could probably happen. Yeah. But like I said, it depends on Hasbro. So yeah.
Yeah, there's traveling to more
Hasbro.
What are let's see here Zach's thoughts on some of these.
Yep.
Well, I personally would like to see more of the Dazzlings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think it could work.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on some of the ideas I mentioned, though? Like Return of Cinch and Crystal Prep Focus episode, Return to Equestria.
I don't really remember who Cinch is.
The first
but the prep episode could be cool. Like, maybe focus on, like, one of their students.
Yeah.
Heck, you can do an episode on the evil headmistress or whatever, the dean.
Yeah, well, the principal currently is Cadence. It's been confirmed.
Well, maybe do an episode on Flurry Heart.
Ooh, that would be interesting, yeah.
Alright, we got the great examples. Anyway, next.
So, one episode I have, movie theater episode, possibly Juniper montage playing a role, maybe an episode where a nerdy boy has a crush on Sunset Shimmer, but she turns him down multiple times, and he keeps trying, and she loses her temper and yells at him and scares him, and she eventually apologizes, explaining to him that she's not looking for a relationship right now. Possible new Star Trekker-like character. What do you think of that?
Brandon, did you just insert yourself into the show?
In my opinion, I don't think Hasbro would go to that extent. Maybe they will. Like I said, this is the same company that will allow a child to be a mother, but you get the drill. So, in my opinion, I think maybe something like that can happen. Because after all, Sunset does have I think she's the most hot-tempered character in the whole damn show. Well, with the
I'd say it was more Rainbow Dash, but I guess.
Actually, it's not. It's been confirmed Sunset snaps more than Rainbow Dash does. So, yeah. So, basically, now, to be fair, Zach, you are correct. Rainbow is just as bad as hot-tempered, but Sunset is a little bit higher when it comes to the anger. So, yeah.
Yeah, Sunset blows up a lot.
Yeah, so, in my opinion, I think maybe something like that could happen. I think it should.
Yeah, that would be awesome. See, like, Sunset being, like, a leader, like an I don't need no man kind of character. Like, I could see them doing that. Like, I don't.
As long as it's not that political BS, we don't let that crap.
Like, can you imagine, like, then making Sunset into, like, I don't need a man kind of woman? Like,
I don't need no man. I don't need no Brandon to do my things.
Yeah.
Alright, next. We're getting political here.
Yeah, sorry. So, Wonderbolt soccer team episode, potentially with Human Spitfire. Possible debut of the real Human Daring Do, and Rainbow Dash finding out the AK Yearling and Daring Do are the same person, just like back in Season 2 of Finn. Except it plays out differently. Reconciliation episode between Juniper Montage and her Uncle Cantor Zoom. What do you think of that?
I think
I'd like to see a Spitfire episode.
Yeah, even though I kind of find it very weird that Spitfire and this is just my opinion, But I think I would find it weird that Spitfire would be a quote-unquote student in CHS because due to the fact that she's an actual freaking general in the damn Ponyverse. But whatever, I'm not going to get into that. But the whole point is that I always saw Spitfire as a coach, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, this whole thing with Spitfire actually being the captain, it's weird. It's very weird. This is
well, yeah, she can't be well, that's what I'm saying. Like, she would have to be the coach because she obviously cannot be. She can't be the captain because it's been confirmed that Rainbow Dash is the captain of every sports team.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's a canon fact. That proves that's evidence that shows that Spitfire has to be the coach.
Exactly, because the coach is never seen. And that's one thing that people keep getting wrong. They keep saying that Spitfire is a student when in reality that's not possible. Even Soaring, I don't think is a student. So,
I think Soaring might be a student. He might actually be the co-captain of the Wonderbolts while Rainbow Dash is the captain.
Maybe going back to the Rainbow Dash wants to take pilot lessons. Maybe her instructor is Spitfire.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But anyway, but the odds of Hasbro doing that one, I think, are slim to none. But
maybe she's really bad at flying.
Yeah.
Rainbow Dash, I mean.
Anyway, next one, I believe, apart from all that, like I said, I think everything else that you mentioned, I think there's a possibility that Hasbro can still do them. But, like I said, it all depends on their staff, if they want to do it.
So you think, what do you think of my idea, Zach? Like, possibly debut of the real human Daring Do and Rainbow Dash finding out that AK Yearling and Daring Do the same
Indiana
person?
Jones.
Or reconciliation between Juniper Montage and our Uncle Cantor Zoom?
Ooh, maybe they should frame like an episode of like they watch a movie and the episode's just the whole Daring Do movie.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Alright, next.
Photo finish episode, possibly of her taking yearbook photos for the end of the school year and being a nuisance and receiving complaints. There was actually a short about that, so I don't know if they do it. There was a short about that, so I was a little iffy on including that, but possible Principal Celestia and our VP Luna focus episode, with Principal Celestia dealing with the stress of principal duties, and possibly asking VP Luna for advice, and maybe the other faculty, like Mr. Doodle, Miss Cheerly, and Miss Harshwinny. An episode focused on a boring school day at CHS, maybe the last day of school. Potential graduation finale with a new villain interrupting graduation that the Rainbows have to stop.
Well,
I think the graduation thing would probably tie in with Rivera's movie.
Yep, yeah. In my opinion. And it looks like you're getting a lot of your ideas from inspirations from someone in this PC, man.
Yeah, me.
Well, I think graduation is a natural end to Equestria Girls. Like, it just seems like it would be the natural ending for Equestria Girls.
Yeah, the only problem is like we need to know if they will do it, because the problem is Hasbro keeps saying they're gonna, because you know how it is. Hasbro says, "Oh, we're gonna do this, and then they never do it. So you gotta watch it. So as for the short, the first one that you said, yeah, if you said that it was already a short, there's zero chance it's gonna happen. As for the Principal to Luna focused episode, that sounds like one of the ideas you got inspired from someone. But to be honest, there's a possibility they could do that one, but the odds of Celestia getting mad is literally slim to none in Equestria Girls. But
why not?
But there's a then again, we thought the same thing with Friendship is Magic with Celestia, and it turns out that even Luna is scared of her own freaking system.
Plus, we do actually see Principal
to the moon.
And we do actually see Principal Celestia getting mad and frustrated in Subs Rock, the short.
Yeah, exactly.
She's trying to teach a class and she keeps getting interrupted, and she's like on the edge. She's like losing her temper, and then the class finally ends, and she like just gives up. So she gets
but
mad
that's
when
the problem.
Rainbow Dash is
Exactly.
kicking the soccer ball against the wall.
Exactly. But here's the problem. We don't actually see the actual rage because everyone just leaves. And that's the problem. But here's the thing. If she actually did snap, right? Like she did in MLP, I bet you those students will never interrupt her again. So in reality,
well, it wasn't the students that were interrupting. They were actually behaving well. It's just like different interruptions from like the faculty and stuff that were.
But you know what I'm talking about exactly. But I'm just saying that here is that even though we see her, we don't really see her act upon it. So the problem is that this is something that Hasbro intends to always fail with. They always do it in the pony side, but the minute it's the human side, they're like, no, we gotta keep it resistant. So basically, this could make Celestia a lot more dangerous than her pony side. Because unlike her pony side that snaps, Celestia, the human principal Celestia, is forced to keep and hold that shit in. Keep it bubbling in, and eventually that thing's gonna explode. So I get the feeling if there is a Celestia and Luna-based episode, focused of course, the best thing I think is that Celestia will most likely have to go to Luna saying, I need help to unleash this before I snap. You know, because it's probably gotten to the point that she can't hold it down anymore.
Yeah.
So and I think that's probably why. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, and next one I have is new Sci-Twi solo song, new Sunset solo song, new Dazzling song, possibly in a Dazzling's comeback, or possibly a Dancing Center episode, which is similar to one of my other ideas. Maturely focused episode, Snips and Snails focused episode, possibly them missing the old days of being Sunset's lackeys, and they're essentially trying to do things for her again like the old days, but Sunset is getting fed up with her and tries to tell them they don't need to do things for her anymore. What do you think of that?
I think those are going to work very well, but like I said, we don't have to discuss the Dazzlings and all that other stuff. We already discussed that earlier in this project. But if they do get their own song, that's great. But like I said, that's up to Hasbro.
Yeah.
As for the other ones, the Sci-Twi and the Sunset one, those are most likely definitely going to happen. As for the Miss Shirley focused episode, we would like to maybe have an actual focused one, but the problem is I don't think there's that much demand for Miss Shirley. So, because Hasbro mostly created her as just a teacher.
Yeah.
So if they actually make her as an episode, what we're gonna do? Watch her just teaching all day? Like no one's gonna. There's no demand for that. So I don't think Miss Shirley will.
Or it can be like her side job at the school being a librarian. It could be like about her being a librarian, you know, and having to deal with the kids being, you know, a handful, you know.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's also been overdone like billions of times in other shows, and I don't think Hasbro's gonna waste their time. So
Yeah.
So next.
What do you think of those, Zach? What do you think of those? I keep forgetting to ask you. What do you think of some of those?
No comment.
Okay, fair enough. So the next idea is a Trixie focus episode, fall formal or prom focus episode, possibly with multiple ships becoming canon. Potential episode of Rainbow Dash sneaking out with Sunset to see a post-Crush concert, and Pinkie Pie joins them, showing up out of nowhere and scares them. And Sunset and Rainbow Dash end up arguing, and Pinkie ends up caught in the middle of it all. And then maybe a time travel episode with Sunset traveling back in time to before she reformed and meeting her mean self, and timeline chaos ensues.
Well,
I was actually thinking of a time travel episode as well, but like maybe throw in Doctor Who's Time Turner.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I think the time
as
travel
for the Trixie episode, now that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like have her like trying to stage like a magic show to prove that she is better than Sci-Twi at doing all this magical voodoo stuff. And she has like a million smoke grenades.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll actually work in my opinion, especially the Trixie episode, because I noticed that apart from MLP, Hasbro really doesn't care about Trixie. They really don't.
The fans do, though.
Yeah, it's like the Dazzlings. They don't care. And that's
she is a supporting character in Friendship is Magic. She's not as big of a character in Equestria Girls.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant by in the pony they care, but in Equestria Girls they don't care. Yeah. So, and this could also explain why Equestria Girls is getting smaller and smaller, and why they're getting more and more lack of interest in it. But anyway, that's not the point. As for the time travel episode, I think that could actually be a decent one, because maybe, this could actually be a Back to the Future type of event, where you get the DeLorean and you go back at 99 miles an hour.
88.
So yeah, but yeah, anyway, next.
Next episode is potential human Starlight reveal. We find out what happened to Sunset Shimmer's parents. Possible pet episode with Sunset Ray, her yellow spotted chameleon, being featured. Maybe Flash has to do pet sitting. Possible episode where Spike becomes a human and is learning the ways of being a human and eventually begins to think like a human. And then Ragamuffin returns and becomes a love interest for Rarity. Ragamuffin returns and becomes a love interest for Rarity. So what do you think of those?
One of them I already know is inspired by someone from in here.
Yeah.
It's me again. I'm very inspiring.
Yeah.
Anyway, in my opinion, I'm going to focus mostly my feedback on the Spike-related episode, because the other ones, they may happen, but like I said, I can't predict it. But as for Flash Sentry, who gives a shit about him? Like, seriously, he's useless.
I care about Brad.
Yeah. But anyway, as for Spike becoming a human, there's a possibility that he might. I can't predict it, but there may be a possibility that he may, because here's the thing. Dogs don't last forever. They die quicker, and they age fast.
Yeah.
So, the odds of Twilight, quote unquote, and I know you know what I'm talking about, Brandon.
Yeah.
Kind of accidentally turning Spike into a human will, to an extent, be an actual good thing, because guess what? This is almost like a mirror of the actual pony Twilight. Because guess what? Just like how Spike is, we all know, Twilight's adopted son, basically that would make Sci-Twi, Spike.
I got a good idea.
You know what?
Hold up. I just got this strike of genius.
What?
Yeah.
So how about Sci-Twi tries to turn Spike into a human, but ends up turning him into a bat pony instead?
I guess that can help, but then again, like I said, it depends. Maybe it could work.
And they have to try and, hide the fact that, hey, why is there a big horse that can talk and has, dragon wings?
Then again, yeah, but it's a shame it probably won't work, because the reason why is because then it defeats the whole purpose of the mirror portal. Because here's the problem: if Spike gets turned into a bat pony, right? But then again, that's gonna piss off Sunset, because it's like, wait a second, a pony from Equestria, but then I'm stuck on two legs. Like, that's gonna probably piss her off.
Hey, she got the good end of the deal.
So,
yeah. I think it's a good idea.
Maybe they have to go to a Renaissance fair or something.
All right. Yeah. So next one.
Zach? What did you think of the episode idea I came up with? Rainbow Dash sneaking Sunset out to see a post-credits concert. That's one of my.
Well, I'm pretty sure they did that already.
No, I'm talking about Backstage Pass. I'm talking about a reappearance of Post Crush essentially, and Rainbow Dash sneaking Sunset out to sneaking out with Sunset to see a post-credits concert. Maybe her parents, Bo Hot and Windy Whistles, told her she can't see it because she's grounded.
Well, what's the lesson though?
She's grounded or something. Maybe she's grounded for doing something.
And who's grounded?
Rainbow Dash. Maybe Rainbow Dash is grounded by her parents, and maybe she sneaks out with Sunset.
Well, that would be good. There's just one problem. I'm sure you and Zach can probably agree to this. Zach does have a point. Backstage Pass already did that. And another thing, basically, that, another problem is that whole thing with the parents grounding the kids and then they sneak out. That's been done like a million times over and over and over again. So in reality, no one's gonna care about an episode like that because it's the same thing. Even Turning Red did it from Pixar.
Yeah.
So
I forgot that movie was a thing.
So in reality, trust me when I tell you, Brandon, they're not gonna waste their time on that episode. And also, we never see Rainbow Dash's parents. We never see them.
Well,
So
we do in like actual MLP, but
yeah. So in reality, trust me when I tell you, that will never happen. So like I said, even if they do ground her, has that stopped anyone before? Like, let's be honest.
Yes.
So,
yeah, and another episode that I mentioned before was we find out what happened to Sunset Shimmer's parents and also potential human Starlight reveal.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, in my opinion, I don't know if Hasbro's gonna bother with the Starlight thing in the Equestria Girls because right now they appear to be more focused on Starlight and MLP. So
Yeah.
I don't think they care about human Starlight. I don't think they care.
As for Sunset's parents, who cares?
I care. I want to know what happened to Sunset's parents.
Adam.
Well, I doubt Hasbro's probably gonna waste their time because.
Like,
we
I
also
just want to say something real quick before you continue. I didn't mention this in my script, but like a Sunset Shimmer backstory, because we don't actually know Sunset's backstory. We don't know her backstory, why she became evil. We would. Yeah, like having a backstory for Sunset would be cool. So what were you gonna say, Zach?
I was gonna say we have to remember that the show is like when it comes down to brass tacks is made to sell toys.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, it's like I said, Hasbro has this thing of not caring about parents. And hell for that matter, many of them are never on screen.
Yeah.
So you actually might not even freaking know if any of these people have freaking parents. So
Look
at
at
the
you,
same
Scootaloo.
time, also, they don't even care about Celestia and Luna's own mother, which we all know is Galactica or Fosticorn, but you get the drill.
Yeah.
So but she never makes an appearance because they don't care. So the problem is if they don't care about Celestia and Luna's own parents, what makes you think they're going to care about Sunset's? A bully that's weaker than those two. So, yeah.
Well, even though I don't have this idea listed, Rivera and Zach, what do you guys think of like a Sunset Shimmer backstory reveal? We get to find out what Sunset's life in Equestria was like as a filly, and why she became the way she did, and why she went down the path she went down.
Well, I think, in my opinion, I'm neutral with that. I think it could actually be decent, but at the same time, I don't think no one's really going to care about it because they just want to see, I want to see Sunset today. I don't care about back then. I want to see it today.
Well, there are a lot of people who want to know Sunset's backstory. Like, there are a lot of people who want to know her backstory.
Well, unfortunately, last time I checked, a lot of people want to know people's backstories, but unfortunately they're going to have to accept the fact that Hasbro will never give it to them. The only way this is why people like you and myself have to do it for them.
Yeah.
What about me? I'm part of this team, you guys.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, so...
I can't believe you just forgot about me.
No, we didn't. Don't worry. We didn't forget about you. Don't worry, Zach.
Anyway, but like I said, the whole point of the backstory of Sunset would be great. The only problem when it comes to people like Hasbro, I'm sure even Zach can understand this, even he admits to it, is that there's no demand for it. People are not going to want to, like, the whole point, it's like what he said, the whole point of Equestria Girls is to sell merchandise. That's the whole point. Family dynamic and everything. Yeah, family dynamic and everything else, they don't care about. Because if they would have cared about that, we would have actually seen Celestia and Luna's mother in MLP, as well as we've seen every freaking parent on screen. So they don't care. So like I said, that whole even though that's a great idea, don't count on it. They're never gonna do it. So yeah.
Yeah. And then the last idea I mentioned before was Ragamuffin returns and becomes a love interest for Rarity. What do you think of that?
Who's Ragamuffin?
I
He's
remember
from-
him. I did a V voice role for him once.
Yeah, he's actually from Spring Breakdown. He was a sort of love interest for Rarity, but he turns out he was faking the accent. So I'd like to see an idea.
Oh, is that the one with the boat?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember now.
I'd like to
So
see
I think-
a special where like Ragamuffin.
I
comes back.
actually would like to see something like that because I did see a little bit of chemistry with those two. Like I said, I actually saw more chemistry with Ragamuffin and Rarity than I did with Sunset and Flash Session. I really did.
Yeah.
Why do you keep ragging on Brad? What's your problem with the Bradnator? The Brad man.
Now, I hope that actually happens, but like I said, knowing Hasbro, don't count on it. So, yeah.
And then another one I had was possible human Trenderhoof centered episode. Love interest for any of the human 6 besides Sci-Twi. Pinkie Pie focused episode, maybe with her planning a birthday party for Sunset Shimmer or someone else. Baking/cooking focused episode, maybe take place at Sweet Snacks Cafe. Talent show focused episode, or maybe return a musical showcase.
Yeah, I think there's a chance that majority of those could probably happen with Hasbro. As for the Pinkie Pie, as for the whole thing with everyone having a relationship besides Sci-Twi, we can't really predict that that's gonna happen because we already know.
I'm pretty sure there's a guideline against it.
Yeah, and plus also like last time I checked, Hasbro has been known to always tease a relationship, but then they never commit to it, like they did with Timber Spruce, and they did also with frickin' Flash Sentry. We thought that they were gonna have something between Twilight Sparkle, and then they show up one time and they're never seen again, apart from a special.
They also technically teased a relationship between Sunset and Flash because they made Flash try to get Sunset back and try to be
exactly,
that literally caused me to drop Sunset as my wife. No joke, long story, but like it caused me to drop Sunset as my wife.
Well, it's like I said,
and turned out it never went anywhere. So because of that, I reinstated Sunset as my wife for that reason.
Well, of course, because I kept telling you that, Brandon. That was
before I met you.
But now you know. Don't fall for crap like that. You were always telling me, "Oh, but there's signs here." That's not a sign, Brandon.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's not a sign. If it would have been a sign, there would have been more actions like that. One movie does not pixelate it. It's not enough to provide chemistry.
Yeah.
So basically, it doesn't work like that. Now, if there's 2 movies or 3 movies and they're doing that, then it's a sign. But if it's just one time, no, it's not.
Exactly. I thought they were gonna bring it up again, but they never did.
Because it's the same thing with Sci-Twi and Timber Spruce. Even though, like I said, it's supposedly canonical that they're in a relationship, nobody ever trusts a special. They just look at a special as a non-canon add-on. That's what specials are usually meant to be. So tragically, even Timber Spruce doesn't freaking count. So which is sad that you get this. Next.
And what do you think of my other ideas? Zach and Rivera, like baking, cooking focused episode may take place at Sweet Snacks Cafe. Talent show focused episode, maybe return a musical showcase. And then
I actually answered those already. I said that there's a slight possibility that they will do it.
My opinion is, who really cares?
Yeah, that's funny. Or like a possible human
should we go over Rivera's script now, or?
I'm almost done with my. I'm almost done with my ideas. I'm almost through.
How many ideas do you have, Brandon?
He did say 65.
Yeah,
goodness gracious.
Yeah, I know it's a lot. I usually have a lot of ideas. So, I have about.
I'll do the funny number.
That's why I'm gonna go through multiple at a time. So.
What number are we on?
54. 54. So.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Just 9 more left.
No.
Yeah, I'm going. Don't worry, I'm going through multiple at a time. So
I'm on 5% battery, Brandon.
Don't worry, we're almost done. Play focused episode, possibly with the Rainbows holding another play, with Sunset returning as stage director. Beach focused episode, possibly with it being a hot summer day, and the Rainbows are all at Sunset's apartment, struggling to stay cool. Fan convention episode, possibly like a convention, Comic-Con inspired convention for nerd things that maybe Sci-Twi forced her friends to go to, maybe a science convention. And then
Getter Robo cameo.
And then a science fair episode where Sci-Twi shows off one of her really impressive inventions and wins, but maybe she has competition from someone who rivals her intelligence. What do you think of those?
Ooh, that could actually tie into the giant robot episode, the Twilight episode.
Yeah.
I think Hasbro might do some of those episodes, but the one with the convention, in my opinion, that one, like I said, I think that's a possibility that would actually make for an interesting episode if Sci-Fi actually was able to get a little bit of Sci rivalry on her side, when she basically ends up, going up against another girl that may be even smarter than her. Maybe, who knows?
She's an evil robot, and they have to stop that one.
And who knows, maybe she probably ends up, messing with her little spike again, and then we see the mama bear side out of Sci-Twi, if we know how she is. So, yeah.
And then there's also, I mentioned a beach focus episode, possibly the super hot summer day. The rings are all at the apartment, so I'm going to say cool.
This isn't like a mainstream anime, though.
That would actually, I don't think they would focus on that, because they've already had a couple of scenes with them in the beach already. So that if they actually do that, that's just a repeat. So yeah, they're just gonna be going over and over and over again. So
yeah, same goes for the play focus episode, possibly the Rainbow holding another play with something returning stage director. That'd be similar to the shorts where they did the play.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen again. Because, like I said, the whole point of an actual show and you want to sell things is you have to do something new every time. If you keep recycling things over and over and over, people are gonna stop watching and they're gonna stop consuming. So
yeah. And then my next episode idea is Flash Entry focus episode, maybe also Sandalwood and Microchips. Episode of Sunset Shimmer being the most popular girl in school to the point where boys are swarming her, asking for her autograph, as well as a kiss from her, and maybe she even has a #1 fan who's literally obsessed with her and won't leave her alone.
Here we go again.
Brandon, did you just put yourself in the show again?
And she loses her temper with him, and she hurts his feelings, and she feels bad and apologizes. That's kind of similar to my other
the same
idea.
episode!
Brandon, you just mentioned that already, so I'm not even going to put feedback on that one because that's just a repeat from...
Stop putting yourself in the show! We already have, 3 series of that.
Actually 8, but yeah.
What do you mean 8?
We got Gravity, we got 2 Gravity Falls, we got
What do you mean 2?
We got Brony meets Equestria, we got Boys in Reality, we got CHS, we got Our Mini Brony.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I'll just skip that one. Sunset Shimmer and Flash entered episode, and then the next one. This is the last actual episode idea, and then the rest is just like show focused. But Sunset Shimmer and Flash entered episode. That's my last actual episode idea. The rest are just different ones.
I'm pretty sure we went over this.
Yeah. Flash Century thing in Sunset is not gonna happen. I'm sorry to say, for those who want Flash Century and Sunset to be together, it's not gonna happen, you guys. I hate to say this because there's not enough chemistry. And those who tried to point out the Evergreen Forest movie, That's not chemistry.
Well, what I'm saying is they could have another episode to develop their chemistry a bit. Even though I would hate it, but like
But you know what is chemistry?
No, trust me, it
H2O.
won't happen. Like I said, because here's the thing,
Yeah.
you just said it yourself, Brandon. They need to make another episode to develop it, which the odds of that happening are zero. Because if that would have happened, they would have done it by now. So unfortunately, it goes to show you that Sunset and Flash Sentry, Hasbro don't care about. They don't care about those two as a relationship. As for the Flash Sentry focused episode, I kind of don't think they will waste their. I don't think they will waste their time. Because here's the thing, Hasbro doesn't even care about Flash Sentry now. What makes you think they're gonna focus on a single episode on that?
I care about Brad.
Well, they did actually do a short on him with Friendship Game Shorts. They did a short and it showed that he's friends with Sandalwood and Microchip. So having like a bro episode.
Who is Sandalwood and Microchip?
I
voiced them once.
Yeah. No, you didn't. You didn't. I don't think you ever voiced Sandalwood.
I did. Remember, I did a role that counts.
Oh, you did a submit. Yeah, audition.
Yeah.
Anyway, how many more ideas do we have left before my phone dies?
Only like 5 more.
5.
So, don't worry, I'm gonna go through them all. Right now. So the rest are not episode ideas. So basically, these are just like, different ones. You'll see. Series is animated by Boulder Media and/or Wild Brain Studios, which, by the way, is what DHX is called now, and keeps the original art style. Original voice cast returns: Tara Strong, Rebecca Shoykett, Andrea Libman, Ashley Ball, Tabitha St. Germain, Kathy Westluck, etc. Series is on Discovery Family. Series is exclusive to streaming service like Paramount Plus, Netflix, Hulu, etc. And Series has more than one season. What do you think of those?
They should bring back Brad Swale to do the voice.
I think that it might work, but like I said, it depends on how they feel like it. Because we already know Hasbro, and it also depends if the voice actors want to come back. So because sometimes voice actors come back, but they sometimes have to want to. There are sometimes that they will come and reprise their roles, but sometimes they say no, I need to work on other things, and they refuse to come back. So
also, good science fact: a lot of the voice actors for My Little Pony also voice act for Gundam.
We already know that, but anyway.
No, you didn't. I didn't mention it.
I actually looked some of that stuff up a long time when I was doing this Civil War.
Yeah, but also, we already know that Andrea Libman is coming back because, believe it or not, guys, if you don't know, Andrea Libman recently made a post saying that Pinkie Pie's voice is locked in and that she's in this, and she took a picture of herself in the studio, which probably more than likely confirmed Friendship is Magic is coming back. So at this point, it's just a matter of when, not if. Like, it's just a matter of when it's going to be announced and revealed. But I feel like if they're going to bring back Friendship is Magic, they're also going to bring back Equestria Girls. So,
we don't know that for sure. Like I said, we can't jump and give people false hope yet, Brandon, because like I said, that's happened before where original shows come back, but sometimes the spin-offs don't. So it depends if Equestria Girls is popular enough to do it.
It is. Trust me, it is.
Because like I said, and so far, MLP is way above Equestria Girls. So, and it also depends if Equestria Girls brings a lot more demand. So, unfortunately, MLP surpasses that. So, we don't know. Like I said, maybe it will come back. I'm not trying to be a doomer here. Maybe it will come back with MLP, but it all depends on the supply and demand. So,
because in my opinion, you can't have an Equestria Girls without Friendship is Magic. If you're getting Equestria Girls, you're also getting Friendship is Magic. They're kind of a package
Friendship
deal.
is Magic began first. So basically, if MLP could survive without Equestria Girls.
But Equestria Girls cannot survive without MLP, without Friendship is Magic. If you're gonna have Equestria Girls come back, you're gonna also have Friendship is Magic come back.
Exactly,
they're a package deal. They're a package deal. They come together. They're a 2-in-1
Exactly, because Equestria Girls came from MLP. So, but here's the thing. Hasbro will have to agree to keep that deal. So if they don't, we can still have MLP, so it's still a win, but we'll have to say rest in peace to Equestria Girls.
Everyone at home, what do you think of this?
Yeah,
like I said.
So I think that it would be very controversial if they made it Netflix exclusive, like because you can't share Netflix anymore. So it's very hard for people to access Netflix because they can't use their family's Netflix anymore. But on the bright side, it would probably raise sales of Netflix subscriptions a lot if they did that. But I don't think that would be a good idea. I think that putting it on Discovery Family is the smartest idea. Or, I didn't mention this, but they could also put it on YouTube, similar to Glitch and Planetronica and, like Gameoverse. The Gameoverse, because a lot of shows are going on to YouTube now, like Gameoverse, Digital Circus, and, Hell of a Boss, and, stuff like that. Like those shows are going on to YouTube, so YouTube cartoons are very popular right now, so it could be a YouTube exclusive, maybe.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what the future provides. Like I said, we don't call the shots here. Hasbro does. So I'm
about to call the shots.
Alright, so now... Okay, so... Sorry to interrupt, but now, Rivera, do you want to go into your pitch for an Equestria Girls series?
Be glad to. So, what I believe that should happen... Now, this is a prediction. Now, normally my co-creator here and my friend here, they
Hello.
they were most likely spending an hour coming up with predictions on what most likely will happen in Equestria Girls if it were to return.
And however, this idea he has could also potentially work for an Equestria Girls 5 if they do like a new movie. So this could work for either a show or an Equestria Girls 5.
Equestria Girls 5, The Ponies Strike Back.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I had an idea of myself, as Brandon here has already mentioned. And this is something that I created myself, that even though, I'm pretty sure Hasbro they're probably taking notes on me right now, but... Yeah. This is where I had an idea where a powerful man who goes by the name of Chorus Gunther was once a magical entity from Equestria's ancient times, dating back to the events of Galactica. Now, to those of you who don't know, Galactica is Fasticore. Who is Fasticore? That's Luna and Celestia's mother. The pony you never saw.
Yeah.
Because all you people realize, all you see is just Luna and Celestia, Luna and Celestia, Luna and Celestia. That's all you see. You never see her mother.
Yeah.
But, sorry, go ahead, Brandon.
No, I just said yeah. Go ahead, continue.
All right. So carrying on. This takes place long before Celestia and Luna were ever born. So this actually happens. This whole thing starts in Equestria, in MLP. So one day there was a war that took place in Equestria, and Chorus Gunther was defeated by Galactica. As a result, he was banished to the human realm, which at the time was ruled by the events of the Greeks and the Romans, which you all know was the time of BC. And during that time, however, he was still able to harness a few sources of his power that was still left behind from the events of the reign of the Titans of Destruction from back in BC. Now, to many of you who don't know who the reign of the Titans are, let's just say they are giant monsters. I'm not going to go into full info because that's going to be a spoiler. As Brandon here will explain. But you get the drill. But anyway, after they are destroyed in AD by an unknown army, Chorus Gunther was able to achieve the dominant power through his own experience from these Titans. To the point that he became the most powerful being on Earth, leading to the War of AD that lasted from 1498 AD to 1576 AD. At first, Gunther was able to rule Earth with a mighty fist until 1576 AD, when Galactica arrived through a newly created crystallized portal that would later become known as the Mirror Portal in the 21st century, and challenged Gunther. He was able to discover this due to an agent that was sent by her to keep an eye on Gunther in the wake that he was to get out of line a second time. So basically, Galactica wasn't stupid. She knew he would try again. So she sent somebody when she banished him to watch him. But how do you guys like this so far?
Yeah, I'll probably call this an Equestria Girls 5 pitch. I'll call the title. I'll title the video Equestria Girls TV Series predictions plus Equestria Girls Rivera's Equestria Girls 5 pitch, because this seems like a pitch for like an Equestria Girls 5. So I think this could very well work for an Equestria Girls 5 if we don't get an Equestria Girls TV series and we get a 5th movie.
I go to theaters to see it, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll get that buddy of mine.
It better come to theaters because I was so mad when Friendship Games didn't come to theaters. I wanted to see it so badly in theaters. I was so salty when it didn't come to theaters. So this had better come to theaters.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
But yeah,
anyway,
having like the,
you
having
forgot
like the
an important fact where Getter Emperor comes.
Anyway, continuing, guys. So this is what happened. Basically, after Galactica arrived on our planet, which she discovers, of course, she challenges Gunther. So, of course, for a second time, this was Gunther's second go at Fosticorn. After a huge battle, Fosticorn defeats Gunther a second time, and this time, learning from her mistake, absorbs all of his magic, leaving him powerless before disappearing from Earth, never to be seen again. During this attempt, Gunther was forced to go into hiding until the arrival of the Dazzlers in 1967, when he later tricked Adagio and her sisters into giving them the powers of their sirens back. However, this whole thing turned out to be a trick, and when Adagio, Sonata, and Aria, I believe it is,
Yes.
eventually move in, he tries to suck in their souls. And as a result, they get out and they escape.
Your souls are mine.
Where eventually Horace Gunther is left alone to rot until the 21st century when when Twilight and Sunset arrive, beginning the events of Equestria Girls.
You're referring to Princess Twilight, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So eventually, when that eventually happens, the events of Equestria Girls goes on, all the movies, all the series, yada yada yada, all that stuff happens. And during this time, Sunset actually blames herself. She thinks that she was the one that was responsible for magic. But little does she know that magic was already on Earth long before she was even born. So when she eventually finds this out, eventually she is tricked by Horace Gunther. And unfortunately, her G-Road, or G-Road, whatever that thing is called, I keep forgetting what it's called.
Geode.
Her Geo is stolen, and her power is absorbed. And unfortunately, Gunther is actually able to awaken his magic again. So because of this, so what I believe is going to happen... What is making that noise like this sense?
What noise?
Okay, never mind. So what I believe that's going to happen is it would be an amazing sequel if the Rainbows and the main six, including the princesses, all work together to stop this ancient god. Because this time Galactica is not alive to save them.
Yeah.
Or is she? And I'm going to leave it like that. But what do you guys think? Any feedback?
Leave a comment.
Yeah, that's interesting, honestly. And Corvette, if you're reacting to this right now, just wanted to shout you out. So thanks for reacting, because I want to see what you think of. I'd like to hear your afterthoughts on what you thought of this. These predictions. So say it in the video if you are watching this, which I'm going to have you react to this, Corvette. Yes, I'm giving you a shout out. subscribe to Corbett Reacts. He's a reactor to my content. He needs the support, so go support him. I'll leave his channel link below. But yeah, he's a great reactor, so he'll be reacting to this. There's your shout out, Corbett. You're welcome. Anyway, so afterthoughts. How likely do we think an Equestria Girls TV series or Equestria Girls 5 potentially is?
Depends on the merchandising.
It also depends on the demand. Because like I said, so far between Equestria Girls and Friendship is Magic is most likely dominating Equestria Girls. So
yeah, and I think Friendship is Magic is a lock to come back. I wouldn't be saying that if Andrea Libman didn't do the post she made. She essentially leaked Friendship is Magic revival. She basically pretty much literally leaked a Friendship is Magic revival by saying Pinkie Pie's voice is locked in and saying she was in the studio. So I don't even know if she was even supposed to reveal that. Like she might.
I don't think that could also be a scary thing too, because here's the thing: if sometimes people reveal things, that sometimes leads to the death of projects too.
Yeah,
so you
like
gotta watch it.
Yeah, like she could get in a lot of trouble. Like I don't know if she was under an NDA or not. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe she was given the okay to say she was in the studio. But like that, if you're under an NDA and you're saying stuff like that, posting stuff like that, that could get you in a lot of trouble. Like most people who are like under an NDA for like secret projects are not allowed to like say things like they're in the studio and Pinkie Pie's voice is locked in. So.
And plus, that's a huge spoiler, because here's the thing, if you're trying to surprise the audience, but yet you say something like that, then not only did you give away the surprise, people are going to know, and this leads to shows dying. So basically, she might not know, I'm not trying to be a doomer here, but by doing that, she could also cause the death of Revival.
I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not the case. Like, that would destroy him.
Because Hasbro has been known to do that. So,
yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true. But I think that they're still going to bring back Friendship is Magic because it's their moneymaker and it makes the most sense business-wise as opposed to making a G6. Like, I think they're bringing back
everything was their moneymaker. G.I. Joe was, He-Man was, Transformers was. Everything was their moneymaker.
I know, but G4, how much G4 blew up in popularity, I think having it return just makes the most sense business-wise. I know people are going to say it's a cash grab, and yes, it probably is going to be a cash grab. As much as I hate to say it,
absolutely,
it's probably they're probably going to cash off of Brony's nostalgia as much as it sucks.
And that's also going to suck too, because there's one thing that will probably suck is when something is a cash grab, they don't take it seriously. The whole point of the show is to put it in there just to completely freak the fandom out and say, oh my god, it's back, just so they can pay to watch it. And then, guess what? You're watching crap on screen and it doesn't work very well like it was, because they're basically feeding off of your money knowing that you're going to watch it because it has Friendship is Magic.
Yeah, but there is also a chance that they could make it with love and care, and they will actually.
I doubt it.
Yeah, sorry, Brand. I doubt it.
When it's a cash grab, they never do that. Don't believe me? Look at Powerpuff Girls 2016.
We don't.
They also look at the Phineas and Ferb reboot, the revival. That one is actually made to feel just like the original Phineas and Ferb.
But it's not a cash grab. That was actually something that they've been working for years, trying to actually continue.
Well, maybe they've been working on this G4 revival for years, and we never knew. Maybe they saw, as soon as they saw how much G5 was failing, they started planning a G4 revival. Because keep in mind, they were planning the MLP 2017 movie ever since season 4, and they were planning that movie for a long time.
Though, you basically proved our point, Brandon. Because here's the thing, you said it yourself. They started doing this as soon as G5 flunked. So basically, that means that G5 didn't make any money for them. So this proves that the revival is a cash grab. So unfortunately, you just said it yourself.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
And unfortunately, and here's the thing: when you're desperate, you don't make things with love and care. That's the problem. Because here's the thing: while Phineas and Ferb, that was not a cash grab. because that was something that was planned for years, and the show was not even canceled. It was on hiatus.
Yeah.
So basically, but here's the thing. Friendship is Magic was likely ended. So because of this problem, there's no hiatus. And it was
actually Phineas and Ferb did end on a solid note. It ended with summer ending. So, it did technically end, and originally there was a Disney 4-season rule that only all Disney shows can only have 4 seasons. Phineas and Ferb
was overruled.
Disney. Phineas
that
and
was
Ferb
overruled, actually. But yeah.
Yeah, well, Phineas and Ferb was the first ever cartoon to ever break that rule. There was never another show that broke that rule.
Exactly.
Pretty sure there has.
And also, last time I checked, it didn't really end because of, like I said, the way that, the Phineas and Ferb continue was going on. So they actually had it planned from the start because they knew that, this whole 4-season thing was not going to hold. So they actually, because sometimes shows don't end at 4 seasons. Yeah. Sometimes people are so creative and they want to keep it live. As a matter of fact, a prime example is Young and the Restless. That show's still active today, and it's been going on since 1978.
Yeah.
So in reality...
Yeah, so I think that's all we have to say about an Equestria Girls revival. We pretty much said all we need to say. I do want to give one more message, though. Is that Brony at Canterlot High, episode 7, is actually coming out pretty soon. And I wanted to let you all...
very well.
I wanted you all to let you all know that Rivera is my new writer of this series. I mentioned it in my movie, but I don't know if you all saw the ending because you probably didn't want to sit through like a 2-hour movie to get the ending. But I'll just say here, basically, Equestria Girls Brony at Canterlot High episode 7 is going to be the start of his era, Rivera's era. So.
True. As a matter of fact, I started writing on the second half of episode 7 before Aaron passed the series to me. So now I own it now.
Yeah, Aaron is Garden General. He purely wrote episodes 1 through 6, and I wrote some of them as well. Well, not fully 1 through 6 because I actually wrote the majority of episode 3. I wrote pretty much all of episode 3. He only wrote a few parts. But episode 1, 2,
you
4...
also wrote, you also wrote like the first half of episode 7, along with Robert. And I think you wrote like 20 minutes of the first half. I wrote the remaining 20 minutes. So,
yeah, but I just want to let you all know that I know that the episodes have been sort of slow and not a lot's been happening in the episodes. But I want to assure you all that things are going to be happening with Rivera's era. Like, it's going to be a lot more entertaining. So,
just wait until I show up.
Yeah, Zach's going to show up in a future...
Getter Robo fans, yours truly is going to be in the series someday.
Yeah, Zach is going to be in the future seasons, so stay tuned for that.
You're going to love all the new shit. And I'm warning you guys one thing. I'm going to say something as a co-creator of CHS. Brony meets Equestria, and Our Mini Brony. I'm telling you basically that when you see episode 7, as soon as it passes, you're going to see shit you never saw in Brandon's entire YouTube channel.
Yeah,
I'm just going to say it like that. Even Brandon got him squealing.
Yeah, like it's going to be on par with like episode 3 of Our Mini Brony. Like if you thought that Our Mini Brony episode 3 was crazy, you're going to see even crazier stuff than that. So literally the craziest project, the darkest project I currently have on my channel right now is episode 3 of Our Mini Brony. But that is going to change, and episode 5 of Our Mini Brony is also going to be the start of Rivera's era of that series. And that's going to be a very long episode.
Which, by the way, thanks to Brandon, I own that. That was the first series on his channel I actually owned, thanks to Brandon. So, yeah. CHS was second.
And this time, Ken Do Studios did not pass the torch to Rivera. I did, because Ken willingly quit. Ken was originally my co-creator, and Rivera's told me this, that if a co-creator steps down, then the creator has the right to appoint a new co-creator. So
that's exactly how it works.
Because Ken stepped down as co-creator of Our Mini Brony, Rivera, I appointed him as the new co-creator of Our Mini Brony. So
yeah, I did more to that series than he ever did. Like honestly, I wrote the whole fucking thing. Forget the language, but still.
Yeah, so I hope you guys are all excited for Our Mini Brony episode 5 and Brony at Canterlot High episode 7. I know it's been a long wait for Our Mini Brony episode 5, but I promise you guys, Our Mini Brony episode 5 is going to be well worth the wait, because...
It better.
Yeah, because I am going to release it. It's currently in development. I don't know exactly when it's going to release, but I'm hoping to release it this year. At latest, I'll probably release it early next year.
I'm actually excited. I have seen whips. I have been seeing whips, and trust me, you guys are not going to regret this wait.
Yeah, like actually, no whips have actually been posted yet, but I am
not OMB. I'm talking about episode 7 of CH.
Oh yeah, Brony and Canterlot High, yeah. Yeah, that's been a kind of a long wait too, but I guarantee you guys, it's going to be worth the wait. And episode 8 is also in development, so that'll probably be a lot shorter wait. So, I might also have a preview of episode 8 and episode 7, teasing when it's going to come out. So, stay tuned for that as well. But yeah, that's about all I have to say, and I hope you guys are all excited for Equestria Girls Brony and Canterlot High episode 7. And I hope you guys like this episode of us predicting an Equestria Girls TV series.
All I just gotta say is just one thing real quick, Brandon. All I gotta say is I hope you guys, when you love episode 7, keep in mind this is gonna be the start of a new age on Brandon's channel. The age of Aaron is over. So yeah.
Yeah, and the series is gonna take a dark turn. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna reveal anything else.
I'm not gonna spoil anything.
The series is going to take a dark turn. That's all I'm gonna say, and it's only gonna get darker. So, yeah. So if you thought nothing happened in Equestria Girls Brony and Canterlot High, you guys are gonna change your tune very soon. That's all I'm gonna say. But all I have left to say is if you guys have any ideas for your own episodes of an Equestria Girls TV series or Friendship is Magic revival
put down in the
episodes,
comments.
Put down in the comments.
See them.
Yeah, so let me know what you predict for episode ideas for an Equestria Girls TV series, and also mention what you think is more likely: an Equestria Girls Season 3 with more shorts, an Equestria Girls 5, or an Equestria Girls TV series, and tell me what you would like to see the most out of those 3.
Also, don't forget to comment how Brandon should actually watch Getter Robo with me finally.
Yeah, that too.
You're still at it with that crap, man.
You better believe I am.
So,
alright, people.
that'll be all for now. Yeah, that'll be all for now. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the next episode yet.
Shout out to Triple Flips.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do for the next episode of Our Mini TalkCast. I'll have to figure that out, because I might do a Nintendo Direct predictions episode, possibly a non-MLP episode. So I might actually do a Nintendo Direct predictions podcast for the next episode. So I'm thinking I might potentially do that before the June Direct drops, but I'll do that with a new guest that's more Nintendo themed. So stay tuned for that. If you guys want to know my predictions for Nintendo Direct, I can possibly try that for the next episode, or maybe something else if I can think about it. But yeah. Alright, well, that'll be all for me. Brandon Boney Pony out. Want to say your farewells, guys?
See you around.
Watch Getter Robo.
Alright, talk to you guys later. Brandon Boney Pony out. See ya.